Nothing tests the condition of your car battery like winter, and nothing reveals the true state of your starter battery like a load tester. You can't really know what's in the battery when it's empty, but only under load. That's why I borrowed this device from uni-max, and we'll take a closer look at 4 different batteries. My name is Tomasz Krasenski, and the first subject for testing is the Varta Black from 2012. Hardly used and fairly well maintained. The second is the Starline brand, which hides an Exide battery. The year of manufacture is also 2012. And the next battery is another Varta, this time silver and in BMW colors, manufactured in July 2005. So this is a battery that the manufacturer supplied to a new car, where it served for a long 14 years and would continue to work. If I had to stress it with cold starts of a 2-liter turbo diesel in winter, it couldn't handle that much, but in summer it started without hesitation. Here you can at least see that the engine needs completely different starting currents in winter than in summer. The battery holds a voltage above 12.6 V when charged and unloaded, so it doesn't indicate that it's not completely fit. However, we will find out how it actually is using a load tester. And finally, I have a new Exide Premium, which replaced that Varta holder. After about a month of operation, it should still be like new. It has the highest capacity and rated starting current of all the tested batteries. For testing starting batteries, I chose the BT600A device. Besides the car battery itself, it can also test the starter, measure its current draw, and measure the charging voltage of the alternator and regulator, thus checking if the charging is functioning correctly. The device can work with batteries with a nominal voltage of 12 and 24 V up to a capacity of 200 ampere. The battery temperature during the load test must be at least 16 degrees. In this price category, don't expect the tester to show you the actual maximum current that the battery can deliver. However, it can record the voltage drop of the battery based on a certain current load, from which its actual condition is evident. The car battery can be tested in the car, or removed from the vehicle. The battery should always be fully charged first. When measuring in the car, first connect the blue terminal to the battery's ground wire. Connect the red terminal to the positive pole of the battery and the black one to the negative. Outside the vehicle, we will only work with the blue and red terminals. The black one will remain disconnected and must not touch the other terminals. Using the potentiometer, we set the capacity of the tested battery and press and hold the red button. During this, we monitor the voltage on the voltmeter on the right. The needle will stabilize after a few seconds, and we can see how much the battery voltage has dropped under load. If it stays above 10.5 V, the battery is fine. If it is in the range of 10 to 10.5 V, it is already in worse condition, and we may have starting problems in winter. And if the voltage is lower than 10 V, the battery is unable to provide enough current for winter starting. The ammeter on the left indicates the load current approximately, and be careful, do not hold the button pressed for more than 5 seconds. If the battery is able to start, we can proceed to measure the starter, alternator, and regulator. I recorded the measurement results in a table, which shows that the oldest battery drops below 10 V under load. 2 batteries made in 2012 are holding up somewhat, but in freezing temperatures they will have problems with repeated starting, and if they are not sufficiently charged, they risk failure. And finally, the new battery can handle repeated loads without its voltage dropping below 10.5 V. If we are not concerned with a load test, we can measure the state of charge of the battery with any voltmeter, or we can determine it by the density of the electrolyte. However, this only applies to the so-called flooded batteries, which have access to the electrolyte. The measurement is done with a refractometer, which is a device for measuring the refractive index of light. Refractometers can be optical or electronic, and in the automotive industry, we use them more for measuring the clarity of cooling fluids and washer fluids against freezing. To determine the density of the liquid, we only need to take 2 to 3 drops of the solution being measured with a pipette. On the refractometer, we then read the value of the electrolyte density in kg per liter, or the freezing point of the solution in degrees Celsius. And since we are talking about liquids, I have one more useful tool here that quickly checks the condition of the brake fluid. The tester, using a probe inserted into the expansion tank, will show what the actual boiling point is. If it is lower than the value recommended for the individual types of brake fluid, you should replace it promptly. Let's return to the starter batteries. Generally, they prefer to be fully charged. Long-term storage in a partially discharged state is harmful to them, just like overcharging. Therefore, check the condition of your battery as often as possible, and if you find that its open circuit voltage is less than 12.6 V, recharge it with an external charger, and don't be afraid to charge it while it's connected in the car. If you have a quality charger, nothing will happen. Also, check the functionality of the vehicle's charging system. With proper care, the battery will reward you with a long lifespan. You can find links to all products in the description below the video. Please subscribe and click the bell icon to set up notifications for new videos. A like or constructive comment would also be appreciated. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video from uni-max.